on, come on, come on, come on. Yeah!
What if I told you that in order to get into the pit from 7, you would need to hit a perfect reverse C on a 1565, gripping around 1411, but you need to hold your plant a little bit longer in order to get upside down and make the pole move. Or that from 4, all you need is a 1480, gripping at the top as long as you keep your trail leg long and you get past vertical. You would probably respond to me with, well, Ethan, what the fuck? Now, I know that none of that made any sense at all, but do not worry, I am here to help. I've been part of the pole vault discourse community for about 7 years now, and ever since the beginning, I have completely loved it. The story of how I got into the sport is actually kind of crazy. When I was younger, I was one of those kids who would kind of just throw their body around and not really care if I got hurt. So one day, to try to calm me down a little bit, my parents actually got a trampoline. And immediately, the very first time I got on it, I just completely fell in love. After that, I made an Instagram page and I immediately started recording myself and posting the videos there. The page is deleted, do not even ask me about it.
Shut up!
And lucky enough, the pole vault coach at the high school I was planning to attend in a few years actually saw my page and reached out to me and asked if I wanted to join the team. Because I didn't really know much about it, I decided, hey, I might as well try it. So I went out the next day and I watched some guys pole vault. Now this was the first time I had really ever seen it or even heard of it. And immediately I was completely infatuated by the sport. So when the coach asked me if I wanted to try it, I said, hell yes, and I picked up a pole. Now the rest is history, and I was lucky enough to be given a scholarship to compete in pole vault at a Division I level, here at FIU of course. So today I'm going to sit down and I'm going to break down the discourse community of pole vault and what some of the different terms we use mean, and I'm just going to try to give you a little bit better of an understanding of what is going on here. So pole vault is generally broken down into 4 parts. You have the run, the plant and takeoff, the swing and inversion, and the top end. Now obviously right now you have no idea what any of those mean, but again, do not worry, I'm going to break them down and show you real examples of professionals who I believe do them extremely well. So to begin, we have the run. And the run consists of everything that a pole vaulter does before they actually leave the ground. This includes the ritual, which is the thing that a pole vaulter does every single time before they do it, whether it be take a few steps forward and a few steps back, or clap their hands, or scream. That is the ritual.
De los 8-10, pero vamos, esto ha sido una auténtica maravilla.
Y ojo porque la pértiga nos ofrece emociones, porque el listón ya está mientras nos emociona.
So for the actual running, it's going to be a little bit different for right-handed people versus left-handed people. But for right-handed people such as myself who jump off their left foot, the run is measured by the amount of left steps taken. So to give you an example, a person who is going to run a 6 left approach, their left foot will strike the ground 6 times before they go into the air.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
In the event of pole vault, generating speed and energy with your run is very, very crucial, but a little bit later I will get into why that is. Now at the very end of each run comes the plant. This is the moment where the vaulter's foot strikes the ground and the pole hits the back of the box. And to ensure the safety of the vaulter, right at the very end, the vaulter is actually going to press the pole up and out. At the same time, they want to jump that way instead of that way or straight up. This directly transfers into the takeoff. The takeoff is what happens as soon as the vaulter leaves the ground. At this time, you'll see the vaulter do what is called a knee drive while keeping their trail leg strong to form a reverse C position. This is crucial in keeping momentum and putting energy into the pole so that it can in turn fling them up into the air. Now comes the fun part. After the reverse C position is hit, the vaulter is going to swing their trail leg as hard as they can while still driving with their knee. The momentum from the swing actually pulls their body upside down, which is called the inversion. One term that is used within pole vault is called kicking the soccer ball. So instead of trying to kick upward with their trail leg, they're going to try to kick down and out. This actually adds more energy to the pole. So once the pole vaulter is upside down, they do something called the pull. This is where they drop their shoulders down and thrust their hips into the pole while pulling their hands to their chin. To finish off the vault, they pull their outside foot over top of their inside foot, which causes their body to turn while going over the bar. Now that I've explained the process of pole vaulting, you're probably wondering, hey Ethan, what about the poles themselves? Within the event of pole vault, deciding what poles are right for you is so important when it comes to safety. When each pole is made, it is given 3 numbers: the weight, the length, and the flex. Now the term weight can be a little bit misleading. It isn't actually talking about the weight of the pole itself, but instead the amount of weight the pole can safely support. So for someone like myself who weighs around 160 pounds, I typically start on a pole that can support, you guessed it, 160 pounds. This number is usually shortened down to just the last 2 digits. So for example, if I were getting on a 15-foot, 160-pound pole, I would just say a 1560. However, it is not always that simple. As a vaulter gets faster and stronger, the amount of energy they produce can actually get too much for a pole to support, so they actually need to get a heavier pole, which basically just means a pole that can support more weight. So with the speed and strength that I have, I typically range from poles that can support around 170 pounds to about 200 pounds. And of course, it all depends on the vaulter. When it comes to the length of the pole, it is a little bit simpler. In fact, it is literally just a measure of how long the poles are. Poles range anywhere from 7 feet to about 18 feet at the very longest. The tricky thing about it, though, is that the longer the pole is, the harder it is to get it to the vertical position. Now, the flexibility or flex of the pole is where a lot of people get confused. The flex of a pole is measured by setting the top and bottom of a pole on a support and hanging a weight from the middle. Then, the distance that the pole bends from flat is measured in centimeters, and that is the flex number. So for example, a 15-foot pole that has a flex measurement of 18.4 centimeters is going to be stiffer than a pole with a 19.0 flex. So when determining the pole that a vaulter is going to use, they actually look at all 3 of these numbers. So for myself, when running from 4 lefts, which does not produce as much energy as 6 or 7 lefts, I use a 14-foot, 180-pound pole with a flex number of around 19.0. When I get to longer runs, which produce more speed, I use longer poles. For example, from 6 lefts, I use a 14.7 190 with an 18.5 flex. And like I said before, it is different for every vaulter. However, everyone kind of stays under the same general ideas. So, now that you know everything there is to know about pole vault, I fully expect you to go out and share this knowledge with all of your peers. Joking. Seriously though, pole vault is an extremely fast-growing community right now, and the people that I've met within it have been some of the best I have ever met in my life. Thank you all for watching and learning about my Discourse community. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me, and I hope you all have a great rest of your day.
No!